Men really struggle with acknowledging their emotions and expressing their emotions. What can men do to start first acknowledging their emotions and expressing their emotions in a healthy way?
I don't think men have any problems expressing their emotions, as long as it's anger. No, I'm serious. Men, have you seen the rage? Men don't have problems expressing their emotions if it's anger. But on a serious side, anger is that scapegoat emotion. Everybody gets angry, so it's acceptable, right? When I'm working with a client, I'm inviting them to go beneath the anger. Anger is a mask. When you dig deep and you found someone who's raging, there's always something under that. People don't just get angry for no reason. It's either hurt, they're sad, they're in pain, they're disappointed. Something triggered that, but all they can show is the rage. They can't show you the tears. They can't show you any vulnerable emotions because men are what? Socialized to be strong. Men are not supposed to show any emotion other than anger according to how they are socialized. Think about it. Right? I'll give you a quick example. Oprah cried on a regular on TV, did she not? Oprah is known to cry. I don't watch TV, but you can tell me, you're a male. Has Dr. Phil ever cried on TV? And he may have, I don't know.
You know, it's funny, there's a guy called Jordan Peterson.
Okay.
Right? He's you would call this like these celebrity intellectuals, I guess. Like, I think I'm not sure if he's a psychologist. Nonetheless, he's a college professor. So he's been crying recently.
Oh, he's crying on TV.
Though.
Okay.
You should see the comment sections, though, chastising him for crying.
Say that one more time.
The comment sections chastising him for crying.
To my point, exactly. So men are more likely to show rage or anger or frustration, but the softer emotions don't get expressed by men because they're not raised that way. When we give men permission to show soft emotions, perhaps they will. No one's ever given them permission to do that. I love your example because it speaks exactly to what I am talking about. Men aren't supposed to cry. No one wants to see a grown man cry. In relationships, I'm working with women who are bypassing potentially great mates because they're too nice and they're too soft. Because soft and nice translate to weak. No one wants to see a weak man. Men are supposed to be strong. You're bringing home and you're doing, you're the strong person. They don't want to see that.
Before you continue, since you brought that up, is there another issue with that in the sense that they don't feel worthy of a good man also? Or is it just because they're nice?
That could be too. In all fairness, that could be too. Because women, especially, I work with a lot of people who've experienced trauma, and when you have experienced trauma, this is your expectation. So when a person comes to you, you don't have a box to put that in. You can relate to abuse. You can relate to people, talking down to you or physically or emotionally, sexually abusing you, but you can't relate to nice. Nice you cannot trust. So a part of it does have to do with, what their expectations are and what their experiences have been. That is very, very true. But men, I think, let's say this. In my therapy practice, men have no problem and I'll be like, on the other hand, like, okay, you know what I mean? So, you want to turn the faucet off, no joking. But no, you have to give them permission. If we give men permission to feel what they feel, because we know it's in there. There's a guy, I don't know if I can drop his name, but his name is Boone's Jungle. I don't know this man at all. He's on Instagram, and he listened to one of these I Never Knew TV episodes that I did on creative practices to heal trauma. So he said he was listening to that, but he had been going out into the woods. He'd been dancing and singing and communing with nature and smoking. He admits that, because he had recently experienced 2 major losses. I mean, major losses. And so he said he thought he was losing his mind because he was out in the woods and you'll see him out there just dancing around. And he said when he heard that episode, he said, I'm not crazy. He was crying. He's feeling his emotions. And it motivated him to write a book called Dead Baboons. And I read the book, And the book is amazing. I loved it. But I could feel his pain on those pages. So one thing that we can do to help men express those emotions, if they are not ready to talk about them, if we haven't given them permission to talk, work out, box, you know, get it out of you. The point is, these emotions are trapped inside of men, just like they're trapped inside of all of us. Men haven't been given permission to release their emotions through tears or through softness or lying on his woman's shoulder and say, I just need a hug. Women be like, oh, you know what I mean? Write about it. Write a book about it. Journal about it. Drum about it. Dance about it. Scream about it. I used to take clients in the woods. This is crazy. Jurita Park, primal scream. You know what that is? Scream to the top of your lungs. Primal scream. Release it. But I will say it again. If men were given permission to share their emotions, they might just do it.
You know what's wild? Reflecting on what you said, I was so fortunate. I noticed now this much. I notice it a lot now that I'm older, that because I had the outlet with sports, most men don't have an outlet. It's work, family, and stress.
Yes. And more stress.
No, seriously, that's their vibe. And like, they don't have an outlet. They don't have a healthy outlet. And the things they use as an outlet adds to their problems.
Yes. You mean social media, friends in their ear.
Yeah, extracurricular
that too,
activities,
yeah.
you
And
know,
extracurricular activities,
I think
for sure.
men need a hobby. A couple of things. They need a purpose, they need a hobby, and they need an outlet, a healthy outlet. I work out, right? Yeah, you know, it helps the body, but I really work out for just like, it's more like therapy.
Yes,
like
it
I
is.
have to work out.
Yes, it is.
I really have to work out.
I do too. I'm addicted. I'm a gym rat.
So
In
I
fact,
have to work
go ahead. On the way here, I go to a class on Saturday mornings, Thursday. I mean, I'm in a gym. I love to dance, so I'm in a dance class, and we have three of us. We kind of hang out in the class together. They're on my way. Oh, I'm on my way to class. On my way to Brian's. I'm on my way to New Jersey, right? So, yeah, it's an addiction, and I hate to say that, but I'm addicted to. My body goes through something when I don't work out. It's crazy. Either I'm walking, riding my bike, in dance classes, in the gym, I'm lifting weights. I have to do something to move every day. If it's raining, yesterday it was raining. Was up in my house, I got, oh my God, it's bad, but it's good, but it's bad. But it releases those endorphins, those feel good, the dopamine, the feel good emotion. It's very healthy to exercise. But a lot of people get intimidated. Here we go, we're coming into that season, right? Resolutions. The gym is packed in January. You can't even get in a class, but then end of January, February, by Valentine's Day, everybody on the couch again, you know? So I get that. But it's a very healthy outlet, and it helps me be more creative. So when I'm working out, I come back to my projects, and it's like my brain is freed up. So I love it. I understand your addiction very well.
Interesting. And all right, you went into it, but I'm gonna ask it anyway, right? What can men do to start first acknowledging their emotions and expressing their emotions in a healthy way?
Yeah, I just think, again, checking in with themselves. I start that with everything. If men too can sit with themselves. You know, it's just not women. I mean, I work with a lot of women, but I do work with men also. But self-knowledge is key. Whether you want to let anyone else know that or not, sit with yourself and understand and feel, allow yourself to feel what you feel. Before you take it out to any other person, just sit still. I'm inviting men right now, wherever you are, sit still with yourself. A lot is going to come up. Again, we run from it, but let it be there. When you're hurting, acknowledge that hurt. Everything is not about anger, you know? Acknowledge your pain, acknowledge your joys. It's not only the negative emotions that need to be expressed, it's everything. We're made up of every single emotion, you know? And I say, I'm jealous, I'm angry, I'm hurtful, I'm joyful, I'm everything, because I have the capacity and the potential to experience everything. Why cut myself off from an emotion? And again, going back to emotional regulation, not everything that you feel necessarily needs to be expressed, but allow yourself to feel it. Right? You don't have to tell everybody. Again, not every emotion deserves air. Some things you need to, my clients, I used to freak them out. I say, I see, I may not say anything, but I see everything. When I work with my nephews and nieces, you know, you don't have to say everything. Not everything deserves a comment. But your emotions, please acknowledge that you have them so that you can be freed. Because they're in there. And then what happens is you suppress, you suppress, you suppress, and then bam, something happens. You just, you know, so you explode like, oh, like what the heck? What you just, what? Like totally out of context because you failed to express them as you go along. And don't let stuff build up. Even in relationships, when something happens, on it. With compassion, but on it. You did this and, you know, down 3 years down the road, 3 months down the road, my husband's talking about, remember that time? You're like, what are you talking about? Remember that time what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking. Write it down if you have to, you know what I mean? But yeah, emotions must be expressed because if they are not expressed in healthy ways, they will find expression in very unhealthy ways. And that's what we try to avoid. So men, do your work.